So I'm watching these two guys right now who are cooking for the homeless. They're 24 and 26 years old. And I mean, they're doing stuff that I've dreamed of doing, and I've not done that before. But I'm sitting back admiring them because they're cooking chicken on the grill. They're making macaroni and cheese. They put Velveeta and butter in it and shredded cheese, and they put some seasonings on it. And then they made some greens, and they decided, oh, we heard glory greens are good. And so they put some smoked sausage in it, and what else? Some butter, Cajun seasoning, and then what else did they make? They made some cornbread, and they didn't have enough cornbread mix. So people in the comments were like, add some flour to it, And they were like, well, all we have is some pancake mix. Can we put that in there? So they're just having a good time. They made some beans. They're having a good time. They're cooking in a tiny kitchen. They're doing the best that they can. Like, they're like, we want to feed the homeless. We want to help people. We want to clear these streets. I mean, it's really sad when you see homeless people. So they're trying to do something good. It's fun for us to watch. They're doing it live. They're letting us give them feedback sometimes when they don't quite know what to do. But it's just so beautiful and just so amazing and inspiring to see people doing this. They're cooking in a hot kitchen. And I thought, I'm gonna look in the comments, I'm gonna look in the chat, because I know in this circumstance, I know people are going to be so kind. Are you kidding me? Of course, there are some trolls making fun of them, telling them, I mean, some things, yes, they might be accurate, or there might be some value to what they're saying. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Let that go. Like, I mean, we know, what are you, an Enneagram 8? You're the asserter. You have to bark orders and be very assertive and straightforward. Okay, well, you know what? Let's let some of that go. Let's let them enjoy themselves. Somebody was like, that kitchen is so messy. When are you going to clean up? And it looks a mess. And it's like, okay, but they're cooking in a little kitchen. They're cooking in big pans. They're making things in bulk. So they're like, we're trying to make things so that it'll be nice and hot for the homeless. So we'll clean up later. Like, just, we're trying to focus and get this done. So, but that's nice compared to some people's comments, because they're welcoming feedback like, oh, try some of this seasoning, or do this or do that. But when it comes to rude and you're saying things in an ugly way, you're insulting them, you're telling them words that mean the same thing as you're not bright, and look at you, and you don't know what you're doing, and you cooking nasty food, and you don't know how to cook, and like, where is that appropriate? Okay, why don't you give us your resume and tell us what you're doing for the homeless? Why would you break down somebody who is doing something kind for people unless you have major self-esteem issues? You must feel really small about yourself to say insulting things to somebody who's doing something really good for people. That is strange to most people. That could be diagnosable. Like, is there some narcissism in there? I'm sure they don't understand that that's how they're being viewed, but it comes across as you have some serious disorders and problems and some low self-esteem. I always have this saying, hide your jealousy. You don't need to let everybody know how jealous you are. I would never, if I felt jealous of somebody, they would never know it, because I'm going to treat them with kindness. I'm going to be respectful. I am not going to put them down and roll my eyes at them or troll them on YouTube because, oh my God, you have a channel and I don't. I would never let anybody know, anonymous or not, that I'm feeling jealous of them, because what you do is you elevate them, you're helping their channel. These people who are trolls, they couldn't have friends for very long, because who wants to be around that? So you have to go to somebody's channel and insult them and say mean things in order to make yourself feel better. Wow, like you must feel like the bottom of a shoe, because it doesn't make sense. Like if you feel good about yourself, you don't need to make other people feel bad unless you are a narcissist, which is why I wrote my book called The Workplace Narcissist, which is about a type of brand of narcissist. These people can be very elevated in their approach. They can be like top notch, but there's a psychological disorder at play. And if you marry one of these folks, you're in for a miserable life. So that's what we're seeing with some of these people who are trolls. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait. I need to put somebody down so I can feel better about myself. And somebody was telling me, oh, well, you know, those are kids. Well, I hope so, and I hope not. Because if you are a kid, you are representing your family of origin, and there's obviously some type of breakdown or something going on there. Somebody in your family must need some serious psychological help if they are not training you to be an upstanding person and to treat people with kindness and respect. And some parents are doing that. They may not be aware that their kid is doing that, but just know that you are representing your family, and that's not okay. It's not cool. And you want to you want to show respect for your family of origin. You want to show that you are coming from a family of great respect. And even if your parents aren't the greatest, maybe there are things that you don't like that they're doing, you be the change. You be the person that is upstanding and creates a new generation, a new great generation going forward. So it's never okay. And if it's an adult that's trolling people, okay, well, now we're talking about some serious psychological issues, which I do talk about on one of my channels in depth about psychological disorders. So it points to that. So in some ways we should feel sorry for those people, but you know, somebody was telling me, no, I don't feel sorry for them. That everybody needs to be accountable because everybody has problems. Everybody's working really hard and trying their best. And certainly we all know what it feels like to be doing our best and working really hard, and you have to work with somebody who is incredibly difficult, insulting, puts you down, doesn't respect you. That is awful. And the thing is we are all in this world together. I was watching a guy, he was emptying trash around the neighborhood. He was riding on the back of a trash truck and he was showing us his route and how you do it effectively, efficiently. And he was really good at what he did. He was really smart. He was really efficient. He was really quick. And he was giving a lot of tips and just kind of showing you his life. And these are people that we need to reward, we need to appreciate, because they're helping us. And it should be, what they're doing should be greatly appreciated and respected. And there were actually trolls making fun of him, making fun of his job, making fun of his life, making fun of his living. And it's like, wow, okay, well, do you allow those people to work for you in your neighborhood? Maybe you should try doing what they do. I would never put somebody down for what they are doing when they are making a huge impact on our society and our world. And we have to take turns helping each other in different roles. So everybody deserves respect. Trust me, people like this are so weak. These trolls, they're so weak that somebody could say something to them and they're not insulting them and they fall to pieces. They get angry, they start yelling at people, you're disrespecting me. So these are the folks that can dish it, but they can't take it. I was at work and, for example, a lady who's always yelling at everybody, can be very disrespectful at times. Somebody finally told her, I don't like the way you talk to me. And what did she do with that? She starts finding reasons to pick on the lady even more. And I'm thinking, if you can tell people to shut up and get, just really rude, mean, just saying whatever you want to say to people without thinking it through, hurting people's feelings, and then one person says to you, I don't like the way you talk to me. And that upsets you so bad because I heard her, she was mad. She was really mad that that lady said something to her like that. And she was like, I will tear her up. You don't talk to me that way. And it's like, well, excuse me. Something is wrong if you can't if somebody is telling you basically, please stop talking to me that way, and that upsets you because it hurts your feelings and it makes you feel bad about yourself because they're insulting me, and you fix the problem by insulting them more, you're letting people know that something is not quite right. If you can dish it, you need to be able to take it. And a lot of these people are so weak. And that's why they have to say things to people that are disrespectful and rude. There's a channel that I used to watch all the time, and it was a really great it was it was a great channel in the sense that what they were doing was amazing. They were selling things, but it was very pleasant and relaxing and just positive to see that somebody could do this on their channel, and it was great. But what one of the people would do occasionally was make fun of people because of their ethnicities. And let's say they had an interaction with somebody who had an accent, they would start talking like the person, and they were making fun of them because the people in the background would laugh hysterically and couldn't stop laughing. So if you're genuinely imitating them as a term of endearment, that's still not okay. There are microaggressions, there are cultural biases that we all have to be aware of. And these same people would say, well, racism doesn't exist. I don't know why people are upset. Get over it, move on. This is 2000 and something. Well, obviously, this is why racism still exists, because you're not putting yourself in the shoes of other people, which is called, no, I was gonna say sublimation, but I think that's something different. But a lot of times people don't understand how other people feel because they haven't been done that way, or they haven't had that experience, or they haven't lived life the way that somebody else has. So we all have to be careful and mindful of how we treat each other. And we need to treat people with a certain level of, well, we just need to treat each other with kindness and respect. We need to lead with that. Now I'm watching the guys put the chicken on the grill, and one of them is like, I think it's like maybe a little bit too charred or whatever. Okay, so should I go in the comments and yell at them and tell them, oh my gosh, you should have read some instructions before you put that meat? Why would I do that? Just cheer them on, give them respect, uplift them so that they'll want to do this again and again. Because if you've never been homeless, which a lot of people have not, but you should put yourself in the shoes of those homeless people and how they're going to feel when somebody treats them with some dignity and respect and goes the extra mile. You never know. That could be the thing that motivates them to get the help that they need. So what people are doing is important, and we have a lot less kindness or people doing things that could help others because they've been so deflated by other people. And it's not okay, and it's not right. And it doesn't matter if We don't know who you are. I always say great character is what you do when nobody is looking. That is how we should all lead. So, why do you guys think that people troll in, especially on lives? It's like they run to the live. Here comes all the narcissists. Here comes all the antisocial personality disorders. Oh my gosh, I have a chance to be mean. Okay, well, is that all? Is that all you have? Like, what else is there to you? And could you do what they're doing? I seriously doubt it. So, here's a look at why people might engage in trolling. And you guys tell me what your thoughts are. But of course, number one is anonymity and the lack of accountability. It's like wearing a clown mask at a serious meeting. No one knows who you are, and you can throw pies or insults without consequence. Two, desire for attention. Think of them as the class clowns of the internet, desperately waving their hands and shouting, "Look at me!" while trying to get the teachers or streamers' attention. Three, entertainment value. For some, it's like being a live action meme. They enjoy causing chaos, all while thinking, this will definitely go viral, or at least get me a few LOLs. Four, group dynamics. It's like a digital game of follow the leader where one person drops a snarky comment and the rest hop on the troll train, chugging along to the station of Shenanigans. Five, frustration or discontent. When the stream isn't living up to their high expectations, they might think, if I can't enjoy this, at least I can make everyone else miserable, kind of like throwing a tantrum in a candy store. Six, testing boundaries. These trolls are the modern day darers, pushing limits like they're trying to jump over a shark while riding a unicycle. How outrageous can I get before they kick me out? Seven, cultural or social factors. In some circles, trolling is like a rite of passage, where they bond over trolling like it's a secret handshake. Welcome to the club. Where's your trolling handbook? Eight, distraction from personal issues. For many, it's a classic case of, if I can't have fun, no one can. They might be dealing with their own circus, so they decide to set someone else's tent ablaze instead. 9, misunderstanding of boundaries. Imagine inviting someone to your birthday party and they show up in a gorilla suit, thinking they'll be the life of the party. They just don't get that some jokes are better left unsaid. And 10, social experimentation. These are the mad scientists of the chat world, mixing potions of comments to see what explodes. Let's see how they react to this wild theory. I've always wanted to study the effects of chaos. These humorous takes on trolling motivations highlight the absurdity and sometimes ridiculous nature of online interactions. And if you've been trolled before, or if it's something that you find frustrating, let us know. Like, what can we do? What can be done about it, and why do you think people do it?